What's up, everyone? Will Gwyn here with No Beat is Safe Entertainment, and this is my new series called The Science of Songwriting. Look, I'm a songwriter just like a lot of you, and over the last decade, I've been putting together a series of techniques to help songwriters just like you write better songs. And you know what? I think I'm onto something. Look, if you want to learn how to write attention-grabbing, head-bobbing, can't get it out of your head type songs, well then stay tuned, because in this episode, we're going to discuss how to write a relevant and catchy chorus. These tips can definitely be used by anyone and hopefully help you hone your craft on becoming a much better songwriter. I mean, after all, songwriting is a science. Okay, so let's break this thing down. Choruses, choruses, choruses. One of the things I've noticed time and time again with a lot of beginning writers is that their choruses are either way too repetitive or way too wordy. I've heard choruses sometimes that literally sounded like they could be the second verse. And that's not what we want with our song because our audience can become disinterested. So, what's the goal when creating our chorus? Well, the goal is to create a chorus that isn't too long, too repetitive, or too wordy, but is catchy enough for our listeners to remember. So, that sounds easy enough, right? Well, here's the catch. The catch is we have to make sure we understand the balance of a chorus. We need the right relationship, the right ratio of repetition to content. So, with that being said, the good news is I have a tip for you today that's going to make constructing the choruses to your songs easier than ever before. And that tip is by understanding the different types of choruses, we can allow our beat to help us construct the chorus that's right for our songs. Huh? What does it mean by that? Look, don't worry. I got you covered. Let's take a look. Okay, so I know you're probably thinking, chorus types, what are those? Well, to make it simple, there's 5 different types of chorus structures that we hear on a day-to-day basis when we listen to music, all of which fall somewhere along the line of the chorus spectrum. Now, I know a lot of you have probably never heard the term chorus spectrum before, but that's cool because I kind of coined the phrase myself. But basically, a chorus spectrum is a scale that I've created that actually helps me determine what kind of chorus structure is most appropriate for my song. It helps me keep in mind all the possible variations when constructing a chorus. So, ladies and gentlemen, the chorus spectrum. Okay. So, how can this help us when constructing a chorus? Well, let's take a look. Okay, so on one end of the chorus spectrum, you have the non-repetitive chorus. A non-repetitive chorus is when the topic or title of the song is only said once. Now, these types of choruses are usually slower songs, even though there's no real rules in music. But nevertheless, when constructing a chorus like this, it's kind of difficult to make catchy because there's no repetition. There's nothing repeating over and over again to get stuck in the listener's head. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have overly repetitive choruses. Now, these are choruses where the topic or the title of the song is generally said more than 4 times. Now, these type of choruses we have to be careful of because it's real easy to bore our listeners with too much repetition. And a lot of times when we find this technique being used in a song, it's usually for songs with a faster beat, which makes sense because one of the most successful genres for pulling off this type of chorus is hip hop. Now, for the majority of the music we hear on a regular basis, it generally falls within this range. More often than not, if you hear a song on the radio that's not hip hop, it's probably going to have anywhere between 2, 3, and 4 repetitions in the chorus. Even though there are a couple of tricks you can do to give your choruses more of a repetitive vibe, but I'll talk about those in a later video. Now, before I show you the next part, let me take a second to just give you a general understanding of what a chorus is. Now, I know the majority of you know it's the part of the song that you probably remember first. It's the part of the song that we actually sing the words to right after we just finish mumbling the first and second verse. Yeah, that part of the song. Now, aside from that description, what a chorus is generally about 32 beat counts during the course of the song, excluding the pre-hook or the post-hook. I guess it depends on wherever you choose to use it. But anyways, how this tool works is like this. On one end of the spectrum, you have slower songs where they could potentially get away with not being repetitive and just say the topic or title of their song either at the very beginning of the chorus or at the very end of the chorus. Now, if your song is not a very slow ballad, more than likely this is not going to be the type of chorus you're going to select. The other end of the spectrum, we have super fast songs where the topic or title of the song is saying over and over and over and over and over again. If you do not have a super fast song, this is probably not going to be the type of chorus you select, and once again, it's really hard to pull off. For the majority of us, we will probably fall somewhere in the middle of 2, 3, and 4 repetitions. So, once again, if a chorus is 32 beat counts long, which is basically the thing you count off in your mind while you're dancing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you say 4 8 times, that gives you 32 counts. If a chorus is 32 counts long, this is how we can properly design our chorus. So, here's a standard technique to help you construct your choruses, but keep in mind, once again, music is about feeling, so don't be so stuck to these rules that you're afraid to try different combinations of what I'm about to tell you. And when I'm done, I'm gonna show you some examples just to make sure you know what I'm talking about. So, here we go. If you want to use 4 repetitions when constructing your chorus, all you have to do is repeat the topic or title of your song once every 8 counts during the entire 32 count chorus. Now, if you're shooting for 3 repetitions in your song, what you'll have to do is repeat your title or topic of your song once during a 16 count period and then one more time during the 2 remaining 8 count periods that make up the 32 counts of the chorus. Now, lastly, which probably is the easiest type of chorus to construct, the 2 repetitions in your chorus. For these type of choruses, all you have to do is repeat the topic or title of your song once every 16 counts. Now, that might have sounded a little confusing, but don't worry. Now I'm about to show you examples of every type of chorus I just talked about. Here we go. So, non-repetitive choruses. Non-repetitive choruses are choruses like Ed Sheeran's Perfect. In the song Perfect by Ed Sheeran, during the chorus, he does not repeat the topic or the title of the song at all throughout the duration of the chorus. He says it one time towards the end of the 32 count chorus. I whispered underneath my breath and you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. That's it. That's the only time we hear the topic or title of his song during that chorus. It's still a very melodic, very catchy, very touching chorus, but once again, with no repetition, it's very difficult to pull it off. Ed Sheeran just did a good job of doing so. Now, for the next type of chorus, 2 repetitions. We have Martin Garrix and Khaled's Ocean. You can put an ocean between our love. It won't keep us apart. That right there was said in the first 16 counts of the chorus and then wasn't said again until the second 16 counts. And when I say again, I mean the title of the song was not repeated for a second time until the second 16 counts, completing the 32 counts of that chorus. Now, for 3 repetitions, the example I have for you is Clean Bandit and Demi Lovato's Solo. Now, in this chorus, she doesn't sing the topic or title of the song until the end of the first 16 counts. And then, after she does, then she repeats the topic or title once every 8 counts. Now, when doing 3 repetitions, really what it comes down to, it's a combination of 2 repetitions and 4 repetitions. So, either you can start off saying the topic or title of your song once every 16 counts and then transition into saying it once every 8 counts, or you can start off by saying it once every 8 counts and then transition into saying it once every 16 counts. Now, moving on to 4 repetitions. The example I have for you today is Bruno Mars's Finesse. In this song, during the chorus, he says the topic or title of the song once every 8 counts. We out here dripping in finesse. It don't make no sense. Dripping in finesse. You know it, you know it. Now, after he sings that 16 count line, which included the title of the song being repeated twice, he goes on to sing it one more time, which brings the repetitions in that chorus to 4 repetitions as he completes the 32 beat counts. Now, lastly, overly repetitive choruses. Like I said before, it's kind of hard to keep the interest of the listener when using overly repetitive choruses, but they are still possible. The example I have for you today is Big Sean's Dance. In that song, and yes, Dance is the clean version, but in that song, during that chorus, he repeats the chorus of that song over 20 times. But since it was a fast song, the overuse of the word dance actually fit, and Big Sean was able to pull this off. So, how does all this tie into the chorus that we're working on for our song? Well, let's take a look. All right, so when I first started writing the chorus, I was kind of stuck with how to fit the topic or title of the song into the chorus with repetition, but not too much repetition. So, what I first wrote was, and yo, I'm trying to pull myself together. Oh, I swear to you, I'm trying. But I couldn't figure out what line to settle on. Should I say, but these screws, oh, these screws, or yeah, these screws keep coming, coming? Now, eventually, after playing around with it a little more, what I came up with was, and when I try to pull myself together, even though I know it's hard, but these screws. Now, if you notice, I have screws written twice in parentheses. And that was kind of like a feeling call because when I was reciting it to myself in the other version, saying screws over and over and over again felt good. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it as a lead, but I know that it had a place in there somewhere. So I put it in parentheses and I'm gonna play around with that when we get to our layering. Okay, so at this point, we only have 16 counts in our chorus. So I went ahead and added an additional segment in order to bring our chorus to 32 counts, and it reads like this. And when I try to pull myself together, even though I know it's hard, but these screws keep falling. And when I try to catch the pieces, I just keep falling apart. Oh, these screws keep falling, falling loose. So if you notice, I used the 2 repetition strategy for this chorus. I said the phrase, screws keep falling, once every 16 counts. Now, let's see what it sounds like when we put it to music. Let's go. But when I try to pull myself together, even though I know it's hard, but these screws, they keep falling when I try and catch the pieces. I just keep falling apart. Screws, they keep falling, falling. Well, that's all for today's episode. So tell me, how do you go about writing relevant and catchy choruses? Leave a comment below and tell me some of your techniques. If you have any questions about today's episode, or you have any topics that you would love to hear me discuss in a later episode, leave a comment below and I would love to talk about them. I hope these tips were helpful, and if you want to hear the finished version of this song now, just click the link in the description below. Also, make sure you subscribe to my channel. In the next episode, we're going to discuss layering. If you would like to hear some of my other work, just click the link in the description below. Oh, and one more thing. If you're interested in getting your hands on one of these exclusive No Beat It Safe Entertainment hoodies, just click the link below next to merch. It'll take you to the store where you can select from different sizes and colors, t-shirts, and hoodies. So with that being said, thanks so much for tuning in this week. Make sure you tune in next week when we discuss how to layer our vocals. Well, until next time, because after all, songwriting is a science.